In this video, we'll be subtracting fractions, improper fractions, and mixed fractions. So, welcome. Let me just pick a pen so I can use. So, we'll be doing subtraction of fractions. Subtraction. Don't worry about my writing, it's not easy. Writing with the mouse. Subtraction of fractions. Fraction. All right. So from the previous videos, we already know that a fraction is a number that has a numerator, that is the number on top of the division. The division is the horizontal line, and the bottom number is the denominator. Okay, that is out of the way. So if we are given, let's say, a fraction, your friend just gives you a very simple fraction and says, hey, can you add this for me? And then we say, can you help me add 1 over 2? Can you help me subtract 1 over 2 minus 1 over 3? What is the answer? Okay. And then to subtract that fraction. So that's number 1. Let's say number 2, he says, I have this homework. He has a homework. This man, he says, also subtract 4 over 3 for me minus what? 3 over 2. And he has a third one where he asks you subtract 1 over 2 minus 2 over 3. Let's have one which has, let's have one where the denominators are the same. 4 will be 1 over 3 minus 2 over 3. Denominators are the same, that way the numerators are the same. Okay, so this is our question. So these are the questions we are going to attempt in this example. All right, first one. Answers. So we would say here questions, and here we will say answer. So number 1, 1 over 2 minus 1 over 3. 1 over 2 minus 1 over 3. To answer this, we just write the equal sign, then we write our division, our horizontal line that separates the numerator and the denominator, which is our horizontal line. For our numerator, the same thing we did. Remember what we did in our addition video? That's exactly what we do. We find the lowest common multiple. What is the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3? To find the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3, we say what are the numbers in which 3 and 2 can go without leaving a remainder. So to find those numbers, we write 2 as a product of its prime factors. We write all the numbers as a product of their prime factors. 2 has 1, the factors of 2 is 1, it's 1, and 2 itself. Okay, yeah. 2 and 2 is 1. Some stories, factors of 3, it's 1, 3. 1 3 and 3 itself. So yeah, write 2 as a product of its prime factors, be 1 times, this is 1 here, 1 times 2, so 1 times 2 gives us 2, and then 3, same story, it's just 1 times 3. Alright, so lowest common multiple, we write down all the numbers, all we write down all the numbers of each number, but if the number is repeating, we only write it once. So we write down all the factors of the number. If it is repeating, we only write it once. And we also look at the powers of the numbers. This is 1 to the power 1, that is 2 to the power 1, that is 3 to the power 1. So for the repeating numbers, we write 1 with the highest power. In this case, we have 1 is repeating, so we will not write it, we will only write it once. So that will be 1 times 2 times 3 gives us 6. So 6 is the LCM, lowest common multiple, which is another way of getting the lowest common multiple. We just multiply 2 by 3, that will give us 6. So just multiply the denominators and then you will be able to get your lowest common multiple. And to get our numerators in this case, let me just put this somewhere there. Okay, next time I'll use a different color. Alright, so to get our numerators, since we got the denominator of the new fraction by multiplying, we can cross multiply. Let me use a different color. So we can do our cross multiplication here. So if we want, for the first one, we would say 1 times 3. Second one here, we'll multiply that 1 by 2, by the denominator of the first fraction. So this gives us our new numerators. But in this case, the minus sign, we just bring it as it is. Just bring the minus sign as it is. Okay, in this case 1 times 3, just bring it there, 1 times 3, minus sign, minus 1 times 2. Okay. Now we just add. 1 times 3 is what? It's 3 minus 1 times 2, that is 2, all over 6. Final answer, 3 minus 2 is 1 over 6. Always use your calculator in case you are not sure. So 1 over 6 is our answer for that one. Just quickly look at the time here. At the time, quickly look at the time. Time is 8 minutes. Time is 8 minutes. Okay, 1 over 6. So let's go to the second one. Second one is 4 over 3 minus 3 over 2. Okay, let's use a different same color. 4 over 3 minus 3 over 2. 4 over 3 minus 3 over 2. We write our line. So 3 and 2, these are different denominators. Okay, 3 cannot go into 2, neither can 2 go into 3. So 3 and 2 are not divisible by one another, so we can just multiply them to get the lowest common multiple, the easiest way. So we would say, we would come here and say 3 times 2 to get our LCM, get our lowest common multiple. So that gives us 6 as our lowest common multiple. Answer is 6. So 6, which we got by multiplying 3 times 2 there, here on this side. Okay, alright, same story. Remember the story. If we want to write the numerators now, what do we need to do? Since they're different numbers, we cross multiply. We say how many times is 3 divisible by 6? It's 2 times, so we multiply by 2. When we say how many times is 2 divisible by 6? Is 3 times, so I multiply this one by 3, which is more or less the same thing as cross multiplying. So the sign, we just take it that side as it is. So bring this one there, that will be 4 times 2. I'm going to bring the sign as it is, minus 3 times 3. 3 times 3. 4 times 2, that is 8. 8 minus 3 times 3, that is 9, all over 6. So 8 minus 9, if we haven't done negative numbers yet, but I'll show you how to add negative numbers. We'll do integers later on in another lesson, but for now 8 minus 9, it can't if you do that on your calculator. So what you do is you would say 9 minus 8 equals to 1, but because in there we are subtracting the big number from the small number, 8 minus 9 minus 8 gives us 1, but 8 minus 9 gives us negative 1. Okay, we'll talk about negative numbers another time. So for now, just know it's negative 1 over 6. Negative 1 over 6. Sorry about my throat. So let's look at the third one. Third question is what? Third question is 1 over 2 minus 2 over 3. So 1 over 2 minus 2 over 3. You can try this one on your own. I'm hoping you have tried it. So we'll do it now. Okay, same story. Lowest common multiple, we need to find the denominator here, the lowest common multiple, which is 2 times 3, which is 6. So there it is right there, 6. Okay, how many times is 2 divisible by the lowest common multiple? It's 3 times. So multiply the numerator of 2 by 3. We also ask ourselves a question again. How many times is the second denominator divisible by our lowest common multiple? It's 2 times. So we multiply the numerator of the second fraction by the number of times the its denominator is divisible by the lowest common multiple. So the answers we get is what we bring down here. So let's just take this, bring it there, bring that one there. So 1 times 3, just write it as it is, minus 2 times 2. Then we go down, 1 times 3 is 3, minus 2 times 2 is 4, divided by 6. Oh, again, smaller number subtracting a big number gives you a negative. Just remember that always. So 3, we can come here and do it. Let's just do it in different pens. So 3 minus 4, what answer do we get? If we subtract 3 from 4, we get 1. Okay, what if we subtract 4 from 3? It can't. So we get a negative number. 3 minus 4 is still 1, but then we get a negative number. Okay, so we have, and going back to here, we have negative 1 over 6. Our final answer is negative 1 over 6. Negative 1 over 6, the last one. Now we are going to do the last one. The last one is 1 over 3 minus 2 over 3. Okay, in the last one we have, okay, the denominators are the same. 1 over 3, number 4, 1 over 3 minus 2 over 3 is equal to, alright, since 3 is divisible by 3, we just write our lowest common multiple as 3, because 3 is the lowest common multiple in this case. There is no need for us to multiply because 3 is divisible by 3. So yes. So since 3 is divisible by 3, we'll ask ourselves, we would come here, we would look at the first fraction. Be careful. Look at the first fraction right here, and we say, how many times does the denominator of the first fraction, which is 3, how many times is it divisible by the lowest common multiple? So that simply means what we are doing is we are saying lowest common multiple, which is 3, divided by our denominator, which is 3. The answer is 1. So the answer we get, we say the answer, how many times the lowest common multiple, the denominator of the first fraction is divisible by the lowest common multiple. The answer we get, the answer we get, we multiply by the numerator, the fraction, and the answer is what we write here. But now just write it as it is, and the minus sign is just carried on to the other side of the equal sign as it is. We do the same story for the next one. How many times does the denominator of the second fraction, how many times is it divisible by 3? It's 1 time. Then the answer we get, we multiply by the numerator of the second fraction. So this, I'll bring it down there, bring it as it is, times 1. So 1 times 1 is 1, minus 2 times 1 is 2, everything over 3, just write down everything as it is, and 1 minus 2, that's 1 minus 2, the answer is minus 1. Remember, 2 minus 1 is 1, so 1 minus 2, the answer is negative 1, because 1 is smaller than 2. So we have negative 1 over 3 as our final answer. So thank you for tuning in. Yes, thank you for tuning in.